Welcome to another episode of Extreme Expat Stories. Hello, I'm writing this from a sweat-soaked hostel bed in Pattaya at 3 a.m. because I literally cannot sleep anymore. The air conditioning sounds like a dying water buffalo. There's a gecko having what I can only describe as a full-on rave in my bathroom. And I just watched a cockroach the size of my thumb casually stroll across my backpack like it owns the place. This is my life now. This is what I traded my perfectly functional existence for. Everyone told me Thailand was paradise. Go to Thailand, they say. Your disability money goes so far here, they say. You'll live like a king, they said. Well, guess what? They were full of absolute garbage. I've been here for 3 weeks, and I'm convinced this entire country is an elaborate prank designed specifically to break my spirit. And it's working. Let me back up. I'm Lars. I'm 38 years old, from Norway, and I have ADHD. Not the cute kind where you're just a bit scattered. The kind where my brain feels like 17 browser tabs are open at once and 12 of them are playing different songs. Back home, I've been on disability support since I was 19. That's almost 20 years of getting by, doing my thing, living a normal life. Was it glamorous? No, but it worked. I had my routine, my benefits, my studio apartment with underfloor heating that actually heated the floor instead of just making ominous clicking sounds. Then I got this brilliant idea. Why not stretch my money somewhere warm, somewhere exotic? I'd been reading these expat forums where guys were bragging about living on beaches, eating like kings for pennies, dating beautiful women who apparently fall from trees over here, digital nomads posting selfies from infinity pools. It looked incredible. It looked easy. So I did it. I bought a one-way ticket to Bangkok with 3 months of saved-up benefits. My caseworker back home nearly had a stroke. Lars, are you sure about this? Yes, Ingrid, I'm sure. For once in my life, I'm being spontaneous and adventurous, and isn't that what everyone says you should do? Live a little, follow your dreams. Well, I followed them straight into hell's sauna. The flight was 14 hours of my ADHD torture. I arrived in Bangkok at 6 a.m. and walked into what I can only describe as Satan's armpit. The heat hit me like a physical wall. Back home in Oslo, 6 a.m. in March is crisp and fresh. This was 32 degrees with 85% humidity, and I immediately started sweating in places I didn't know could sweat. And that was just the beginning. First problem, my luggage decided to vacation somewhere else. Standing at that carousel watching everyone else grab their stuff while mine never appeared was a perfect metaphor for the entire trip. The lady at the lost luggage counter just smiled and said, maybe tomorrow, maybe today, maybe. Back home, they'd have mobilized a task force. Here I got photocopied form and a smile. So there I am, jet-lagged into oblivion, wearing the same clothes I'd been marinating in for 14 hours, trying to figure out how to get to my hostel. A taxi driver approached. Good price, 800 baht to Khao San Road. I had no concept of what that means, so I agree. 45 minutes later in traffic, that makes you question human civilization. He wants 1,200 baht. We argued. I paid. What choice did I have? Khao San Road at 8 a.m. looked like the aftermath of a festival that refused to end. People passed out on benches, mystery meat grilling, tuk-tuks honking like their lives depend on it, signs advertising buckets and best pad thai in Thailand every 3 meters. It's sensory overload, the musical. My hostel was called Happy Lucky Sleep Good Hostel, which should have been my first warning. The room was a cell that would make a prison warden weep. The bed was a wooden plank with a sheet. The bathroom was shared with 11 other rooms and had a squat toilet with a bucket next to it. A bucket? What am I supposed to do with that? The shower had 0 hot water. Ice cold water in 35 degrees. Sounds refreshing in theory. In practice, It's still deeply unpleasant when you're exhausted and just want something familiar. I collapsed onto my wooden plank and woke up 6 hours later covered in sweat with a gecko judging my life choices from the ceiling. The first day I decided to be a real tourist. I'd go see the Grand Palace, the Big Buddha, all that famous stuff. I put on my cleanest dirty shirt and headed out into the Bangkok afternoon. If the morning was hot, the afternoon was like being slow roasted. I walked 10 minutes and my shirt was completely soaked. The Grand Palace was beautiful, I'll give it that. Gold everywhere, intricate details. But there's a strict dress code. My shorts weren't acceptable. I had to rent enormous purple pants that probably 300 tourists had sweated through before me. They were 4 sizes too big. I looked like a sad clown. I felt like a sad clown. After 2 hours shuffling around in purple shame pants, I needed food, real food. I found a busy street cart where the locals were eating. I pointed at what looked like noodles. A few minutes later, I got the spiciest thing I've ever put in my mouth. Not spicy like, oh, that has a kick. Spicy like, my tongue is being attacked by angry bees made of fire. The vendor and customers laughed watching me cough and cry. I ate maybe a quarter before buying water from a 7-Eleven. 80 baht for a sandwich and water? Do you know how long I worked for 80 baht in my life? 0 seconds. Because back home, everything was covered. That night I tried exploring the nightlife. I went to a rooftop bar. The view was stunning. The drinks were 350 baht each. 350 baht. That's like 100 Norwegian kroner. Back home I'd never pay that. But here I was, supposedly in the cheap paradise, paying Western prices for standing on a roof. I had 2 drinks and decided to walk back because screw paying for another taxi. Big mistake. Bangkok at night is somehow even more chaotic. Motorbikes zip between cars with complete disregard for physics. Street vendors everywhere. Someone tried to sell me a suit. Multiple people offered me massage. One guy showed me a laminated menu of services I definitely wasn't interested in. The days blurred together in humidity-soaked nightmare. My luggage eventually arrived. But by then I'd already bought replacement clothes at a market where I paid the foreigner price for everything. A t-shirt that should cost 100 baht cost me 400 because I didn't know how to haggle. I went to temples. So many temples. Every temple has different rules. Take your shoes off. Don't point your feet at Buddha. Don't wear hats. Dress modestly. Make a donation. I spent more time worrying about temple etiquette than appreciating anything spiritual. At Wat Po, I got distracted watching a cat fight a pigeon and nearly stumbled into a meditation session. The monk gave me a look that transcended language. It said, "You are why we can't have nice things." I tried a traditional Thai massage. Everyone raves about them. So relaxing, so rejuvenating. Mine felt like organized violence. The masseuse was a tiny woman with the strength of a wrestler and the empathy of a medieval torturer. She bent me into positions I didn't know were possible. She walked on my back. When it was over, she held out her hand. Tip? I just paid 400 baht for sanctioned assault. How much tip is appropriate? I gave her 100 baht because I was scared. She looked disappointed. I decided Bangkok was too intense. Everyone said Pattaya was more relaxed. Beach town, chill vibes. I took a bus that smelled like durian and had a TV blasting Thai soap operas at maximum volume for 2 hours. Pattaya. Oh, Pattaya. If Bangkok is chaos with historical significance, Pattaya is chaos that gave up pretending to be classy. The main strip is lined with bars, massage parlors, restaurants, more bars, and bars disguised as restaurants. Neon signs everywhere advertising beer, girls, seafood, live music, and every possible combination thereof. I found a cheap hotel. By cheap, I mean 600 baht a night for a room with another gecko roommate and an AC unit that sounded like it was planning my murder. Pattaya Beach was not what I expected. Murky brownish water, vendors everywhere, and beach chairs you couldn't sit on without being charged. I tried to just lay my towel on the sand. Cannot, must rent chair. 100 baht? Jesus, tap dancing, Christ. I rented the chair. I sat there for 40 minutes watching jet skis zoom back and forth, listening to competing sound systems, feeling profoundly sad. Back home, beaches are peaceful. The water is freezing, but it's clean and quiet. Here, it was like being at a carnival that never stops. That evening, I walked down Walking Street, Pattaya's famous nightlife area. It's a pedestrian street lined with nightclubs, go-go bars, and enough neon to cause permanent retinal damage. Music blasts from every direction, touts outside every bar trying to pull you in. Come inside. Lady want to see you. Free shot. I went into one bar just to see. Dark, loud, staffed by bored-looking women dancing with the enthusiasm of people fulfilling a contractual obligation. I ordered a beer, 120 baht. The bartender immediately started assessing me. You buy lady drink? No, I'm good. Lady drink only 150 baht. You very handsome. I finished my beer in record time and left. A guy tried to sell me a suit at 11 p.m. On a party street. Very good suit. You measure now, ready tomorrow. I had to physically walk away while he followed me for a block. The next day I booked a boat tour to a nearby island. It sounded lovely. Snorkeling, beach time, BBQ lunch included. I showed up at 8 a.m. and was herded onto a boat with about 40 other tourists. The boat was designed for 30 max. We were packed like sardines. The ride was genuinely rough. Waves crashing, boat rocking, people looking green. I focused on the horizon and seriously considered my life insurance situation. We made it to the island and had 2 hours. 2 hours. We'd spent an hour on a nauseating boat ride for 2 hours on an island packed with 5 other tour groups. The snorkeling was disappointing. Murky water, mostly dead coral, a few unimpressed fish, people stepping on coral everywhere. Lunch on the boat was fried rice that had been sitting in the sun too long and mystery meat. I ate it because I was starving, but questioned that decision all afternoon. That night it rained. Not regular rain, Thai rain. The sky opened up and dumped water like someone flipped a cosmic bucket. I was caught outside with no umbrella. I tried waiting it out under an awning with 15 other people. 30 minutes later, still no sign of stopping. The street became a river. Motorbikes splashed through anyway. I finally made a run for it, soaked within seconds. My phone got water in it. My shoes became sponges. The hotel staff found this hilarious. Welcome to Thailand, they said, laughing. Yeah, thanks. Love it here. I tried to dry it out. I hung my clothes everywhere. Nothing actually dried properly because of the humidity. Everything smelled like mildew. My shoes were still wet the next day. This is my life now. Wet shoes and gecko roommates. Around week 2, I made a fatal mistake. I tried durian. Everyone talks about it. The king of fruits. You either love it or hate it. I thought, how bad can it be? So bad. It smells like someone ate garlic, died, and decomposed in a gym locker for a month. The taste is sweet, but also savory, but also wrong. The texture is like custard made by someone who hates custard. I took one bite and immediately regretted everything. I paid 100 baht for this thing, so I took it back to my hotel, took 2 more horrible bites, and threw it away. The smell lingered for 2 days. The gecko left. Even he couldn't handle it. The language barrier became a constant frustration. Back home, everyone speaks English. Here, my phone's translation app kept suggesting phrases like, I enjoy to eating the market, and where is my elephant? Not helpful. I tried ordering chicken fried rice and apparently asked for something completely different because the vendor looked at me like I'd sprouted a second head. She brought me mystery food and brown sauce. It was too spicy. Speaking of 7-Elevens, they're everywhere, every corner. sometimes two on the same block. It's the only consistent, reliable thing in this entire country. I basically lived there. The staff at the one near my hotel knew me by sight. Sawadee krap, same man. Yes, it's me again, here to buy my fourth bottle of water. Around week 3, I started having real problems. My ADHD medication was running low. I tried to find a pharmacy. The first one couldn't help without a Thai doctor. Getting a doctor's appointment required going to a hospital. I waited 2 hours. The doctor spoke decent English, thank God. She wrote a prescription, 1,500 baht, 1,500 baht for a prescription. Back home, doctor visits are free, completely free. The medication itself cost another 3,000 baht. 3,000. I nearly cried right there. But what choice did I have? Without the medication, my brain is a tornado. I paid it and walked out feeling robbed. That's when I started really doing the math. The math I should have done before buying that ticket. My monthly disability benefit is about 15,000 Norwegian kroner, roughly 45,000 baht. Sounds like a lot, right? But let's break it down. Accommodation, 10,000 baht for anything decent. Food, 200 baht a day, minimum. That's 6,000 baht monthly. Transportation, 3,000 baht. Medication, 3,000 baht. Entertainment, 5,000 baht easy. That's 27,000 baht. I had 18,000 baht left for everything else. Visa runs, emergencies, clothes, toiletries. It was disappearing fast. But here's what really got me. Back home, I had free healthcare, free education, free public transport in Oslo, libraries, parks, community centers, all free. My apartment was rent controlled and affordable. I had systems, support, infrastructure built to help people like me. Sure, I wasn't rich, but I was stable, safe. Here I'm one bad decision away from being completely screwed. Everything costs money. Everything is a transaction. There's no safety net. Just you, your wallet, and a country perfectly happy to smile while it empties both. I started noticing the wealth disparity. Luxury malls with Gucci and Prada, and right outside someone living in a shack selling mangoes for 20 baht. Tourists dropping thousands on dinner while locals work 12-hour days for maybe 300 baht. Everyone talks about how cheap Thailand is, but it's only cheap if you're from a wealthy country with strong currency. The fake friendliness started bothering me too. Everyone smiles. Everyone is so nice. But it's transactional. They smile because you're a potential customer. The moment you're not useful, the smile disappears. I watched it happen repeatedly. And the scams? Tuk-tuk drivers taking you to gem stores claiming special government sales. Restaurant bills adding items you didn't order. Change coming back short with a shrug. The massage place quoting 300 baht and charging 600 for a special service you didn't ask for. I saw a guy arguing with a jet ski vendor for an hour over scratches that were definitely already there. The vendor wouldn't budge. The guy paid. What choice did he have? I tried to make friends, other expats, travelers, anyone. But everyone's either passing through or has gone full native and has lost their mind. I met a German guy who'd been here for 5 years acting like Thailand invented happiness. You just need to let go, man. Go with the flow. Go with the flow? I have ADHD. My brain doesn't flow. It floods. The visa situation started stressing me out. I came on a tourist exemption visa. I could extend once for 30 more days. After that, visa run or apply for something else. The Thai elite visa cost 600,000 baht. That's 180,000 Norwegian kroner. A year of my benefits. The digital nomad visa requires proof of income way above what I can make. Every option costs money or required commitment or involved Thai bureaucracy. I went to immigration to extend. The office was crowded, hot, confusing. Take a number, fill out forms, bring passport photos, copies of everything. Nobody told me this beforehand. I had to leave, find a copy shop, make copies, buy photos, and come back. 3 hours total for a 30-day extension that cost 1,900 baht. One evening I got caught up in some festival, parades, Traditional costumes, music, dancing. It was actually kind of beautiful. For a moment, I thought maybe this is what people love about Thailand. Then someone shoved a tip jar in my face. You like? You give tip? The magic dissolved immediately. Even the festivals are monetized. There was also this stray dog near my hotel that I swear was following me. Everywhere I went, there it was. Mangy, missing fur patches, sad eyes. I tried ignoring it. It always found me. One morning it was sleeping outside my hotel door. The staff thought it was hilarious. Dog like you. I gave it food once. Huge mistake. It brought friends. Suddenly, 3 stray dogs followed me everywhere. They'd wait outside 7-Eleven. They'd follow me to the beach. Tourists would see me and laugh. You're the dog whisperer. No, I'm the idiot who showed kindness once. I also developed Bangkok belly. Despite avoiding street food after the initial incident, I ate something bad. For 3 days, I lived between my bed and the bathroom. I couldn't keep anything down. I lost weight I didn't have to lose, lying in a cheap hotel room in a foreign country, sick as a dog, unable to communicate properly, questioning every life choice. Is this what people mean by finding yourself while traveling? When I recovered, I decided to give Thailand one more chance. Maybe I'd been doing it wrong. I'd heard Chiang Mai was nice, more relaxed, better for digital nomads. I booked the flight, landing in Chiang Mai. The first thing I noticed was it was somehow even hotter than Bangkok. How? We're further north. The old city in Chiang Mai is surrounded by moats and ancient walls, which sounds romantic until you realize the moat is stagnant water where mosquitoes breed. My hostel was run by a Swedish woman who seemed to have Stockholm syndrome about Thailand. Thailand changed my life, she said dreamily. It teaches you how to slow down. Lady, I'm from Scandinavia. We invented slowing down. We have lagom and hygge. I don't need Thailand to teach me that. And you should know that. Chiang Mai had better coffee shops, actual hipster places with decent Wi-Fi and avocado toast. 180 baht for avocado toast. That's a full meal of street food. But I paid it because I was desperate for something familiar. I did the temple circuit. Chiang Mai has like 300 temples. They're beautiful. But after 7, they all blend together. Gold Buddha, ornate carvings, take shoes off, be respectful, donate money, repeat. I tried a meditation retreat. Everyone raves about them. Life-changing experiences, finding inner peace. I found a place offering a weekend intro course. In the mountains, cost 600 baht each way by taxi. Promised silence, simplicity, and self-discovery. The first truth I discovered was that I cannot sit still for more than 10 minutes. The second was that mosquitoes don't care about enlightenment. We sat on cushions while a monk spoke about breathing and being present. My mind wandered every 3 seconds. I thought about unpaid bills, how uncomfortable my legs were, whether I'd locked my hostel locker, what I'd eat after, the mosquito biting my ankle. I made it through one day before faking a family emergency and leaving. I paid 3,000 baht to be uncomfortable and restless for 24 hours. I tried engaging with the digital nomad scene, co-working spaces everywhere, laptop warriors posting Instagram photos of their office view. I went to one, 200 baht for a day pass. Inside, 20-somethings typing intensely, having Zoom calls, looking purposeful and successful. I sat with my laptop, which I'd barely opened in weeks. I'm not a digital nomad. I don't have a remote job or business or skills that translate to making money online. I'm a 38-year-old Norwegian man on disability who thought he could escape to paradise. I opened my laptop, stared at it for 20 minutes, checked Facebook, saw photos of friends back home having normal lives, and closed it. That's when it hit me. Thailand isn't the problem. Thailand is great if you have money, if you're young and healthy and making Western income remotely, if you're retired with a pension. But if you're like me, limited income, health issues requiring medication, no real plan, then Thailand is just expensive and confusing and lonely. The math didn't work. Even living like a monk, eating street food, staying in the cheapest places, never doing anything. I'd burn through my benefits, and then what? Go home broke and defeated? I started planning my return, looking at flights back to Oslo. They were expensive. I'd have to use next month's benefits, which meant I'd be broke when I got home. Broke and back in my studio apartment with underfloor heating and total lack of adventure. But I was ready. I missed boring. I missed predictable. I missed understanding what people were saying and knowing what things cost and not sweating through my clothes every day. I missed the welfare state and all its beautiful, boring, and reliable infrastructure. The last week was a blur. I wandered around Chiang Mai, avoided tuk-tuks with practiced ease, said goodbye to my gecko roommate. On my last night, I paid 180 baht for avocado toast one more time and sat there for hours using their Wi-Fi, mentally preparing for the flight home. A thought occurred to me. Maybe there was something wrong with me. Everyone else seemed to love Thailand. Millions of tourists every year. Expats building entire lives here. Why couldn't I? Was it my ADHD? My personality? Was I too entitled, too Norwegian, too pampered by my welfare state to hack it in the real world? Maybe, probably, but I didn't care anymore. I just wanted to go home. The flight back was the same 14 hours, different emotional state, where I'd been optimistic and nervous going over. I was now exhausted and defeated. Landing in Oslo was like stepping into a different universe. It was cold, drizzly, and grey, and absolutely beautiful. The airport was clean and organized with signs in Norwegian I could actually read. The passport control officer said, "Welcome home," in Norwegian, and I almost cried. I took the airport train into the city. Clean, punctual, cost exactly what the sign said with no negotiation. I got off at my stop, walked to my building, climbed the stairs, opened my door, and collapsed onto my bed fully clothed. I was home. Finally, blessedly home. Looking back now, 3 weeks later, I still can't believe I did that. I spent 3 months of benefits in 3 weeks. I put myself through physical and emotional hell. I lived in gecko-infested rooms, ate food that tried to kill me, got followed by stray dogs, argued with tuk-tuk drivers, and failed to achieve any enlightenment whatsoever. And for what? So I could learn that paradise is subjective? That what works for wealthy crypto bros doesn't work for broke Norwegian guys with ADHD and no plan? That the grass isn't greener, just different grass with different problems and more humidity? I'm back on my routine now. My caseworker was surprisingly cool. "Did you learn anything?" she asked. "Yeah, I learned that I'm really good at making expensive mistakes. I learned that disability benefits don't go as far as internet forums claim. I learned that I'm probably not cut out for expat life or digital nomad life or really any life requiring adaptation and flexibility and not complaining constantly. But mostly I learned that Norway, with all its cold and darkness and high taxes and boring predictability, is actually pretty great. Free healthcare, functioning public transport, a social safety net that actually catches you, buildings with proper insulation, water you can drink from the tap, darkness at 4 p.m. in winter that feels like a warm hug instead of punishment. I miss absolutely nothing about Thailand. Not the food. Okay, maybe this mango sticky rice from 7-Eleven. Not the beaches. Not the temples. Not the smiles that disappear when you don't spend money. Not the heat, humidity, geckos, stray dogs, scams, chaos, or the constant feeling I was one bad decision away from disaster. So there you have it. My Thailand story. My expensive lesson in knowing yourself and your limits and not believing anything on expat forums written by retired millionaires and trust fund kids. I'm sure this isn't the uplifting "I find myself in Southeast Asia" story you usually feature. Well, I had a spiritual awakening too. I awakened to the fact that I'm exactly who I thought I was. And that's okay. I'm a guy who needs structure and familiarity and temperatures below 30 degrees to function. There's no shame in that. Or maybe there is, and I'm just too stubborn to see it. My brain is still recovering from 3 weeks of sensory overload and disappointing Pattaya. All I know is that I'm never doing that again. The next time someone suggests I use my benefits to travel somewhere exotic and cheap, I'm going to smile politely and say, no, thank you, and book a weekend trip to Stockholm instead. Expensive, cold, everyone speaks a language I understand, and nobody tries to sell me a suit at 11 p.m. That's my ideal paradise now. Thanks for letting me rant. Maybe someone will learn from my mistakes, or maybe everyone will just laugh at the entitled Nordic guy who thought he could live like a king in Thailand and ended up living like a very sweaty, very confused pauper instead. Either way, I'm home, I'm broke, I'm sitting in my studio apartment with underfloor heating on full blast, eating grandiosa frozen pizza, drinking tap water that won't give me stomach problems. And I've never been happier. Thailand can keep its paradise. I'll take my welfare state winter wonderland any day. Sincerely, Lars.